Cruise news time. Well, this isn't great. Carnival dropping a bomb late last night. Cancellation day for many, and the cruises that got canceled are in 2022. Were you affected? I'll break down which cruises it is, and also there's a narrative swirling around that because of certain mandates, the cruise lines are missing out on a great percentage of their passengers. They're disadvantaging a lot of passengers, and that's the question I had in my head. Is it a little? Is it a lot? Is it 50%, as some have said? Well, we got some data. Cruise news. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lido Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news updates. Well, it's Thursday, October the 7th, and cancellation day. I'm just waiting for a time when there will be no more cancellations. I don't think we're very close to that. Again, I always talk about packing your patience, but man, it's frustrating when people reach out to you and say, dag nabbit, I have been canceled again. Carnival this time, cancellations. Let's look at the email they sent out to customers. Guest advisory cancellation update, Carnival Sunshine, January the 3rd through and including January the 8th, 2022. Carnival Liberty, January the 3rd through and including February the 7th, 2022. The Carnival Ecstasy, Paradise, and Sensation through and including February the 28th, 2022. Dear Carnival guests, with 17 ships scheduled to return to service by the end of the year, we are pleased with the progress we are making, resuming our guest operations. However, we will continue to take a phased approach as we bring back the remainder of our U.S.-based fleet in the new year as we staff ships, train our crew on new operating protocols, and work on the many other issues related to the resumption of service. As a result, we will need some additional time for certain ships, and consequently, your cruise has been canceled. We sincerely apologize for the disappointment, and they give information here as to what to do if your cruise was canceled. A couple other cancellations not on this email affecting Australia. The Carnival Splendor from Sydney, Australia was canceled through February the 7th, and the Carnival Spirit from Brisbane, Australia also canceled through February the 20th. Certainly, maybe, I don't know, it's always shocking when there's cancellation. I really am hoping we get to the place where there's less and less cancellation. The thing that worries me on this Carnival announcement is how the fantasy class, at least 3 ships so if you remember, the Carnival Fantasy class, the oldest class in the Carnival Cruise Line fleet, kind of took a beating during the shutdown, selling off many of those ships. I think it was 4 of 8 ships went to the scrapyard, including my beloved Carnival Fantasy, on which I took my first cruise. The Carnival Elation coming back in service in October in Florida, but the rest of the Fantasy class being pushed out all the way until the end of February. Hopefully this isn't foreboding of not great things to come for the rest of the Fantasy class. I also have a soft spot in my heart for the Paradise. I've been on that, and so I don't know. They're older ships. It makes sense sometimes to sell off older ships with smaller capacity as you're bringing on new ships, and these ships are very old. So I don't know what this means for them, but that's the big question. Were you canceled today? If so, leave a comment. We will commiserate with you. Will this put you off from cruising? I already saw one comment today saying this would put me off from cruising. Now, the news isn't all bad. I do have some good news regarding family cruising and how options may change toward the end of this month. It is also tied to how many people will not cruise because of a certain mandate. I do want to cover all that. But first, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of the episodes. And thanks, everybody. I just want to say a quick thank you for having a laugh with me on the Amelia Earhart wormhole. It's funny. I'm not anybody that corrected me on the first day saying, Amelia Earhart went missing in the Pacific. I wasn't mad. I just thought it was a fun funny, prompt to get back into it. Sometimes I'm just cutting jokes off the cuff here, and they're not going to be historically accurate. And so give me a little poetic license, and I continued to have fun with that yesterday. So thanks, everybody. I'm glad everybody got a big chuckle out of that, and also a big shout out to everybody that is also supporters of the McNugget hot mustard sauce. You are my people. Actually, you are all my people. We released a mail video today, finally got through the mail, and in the mail was a charm for Jenny that said, friends are the family that you choose. And I certainly feel like we're family here, the Loca fam. I mean, I won't pick you up at the airport, but I do feel a kindred spirit to each and every one of you. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of the Loca fam, supporting the show with your viewership and your comments and your community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now let's look at the percentages of people who are not cruising because of the mandate. Let's jump back into the computer and take a look at the numbers. This is a spreadsheet based off of the poll that I created a couple days ago. People have been answering along the way. All right, so when I last updated this, there were 8,700 respondents. Now we're at 9,700 respondents. So let's change this to 9,700, and then let's check the percentages given in the poll. So right now, 81%, 9%, 8%, and 2%. All right, so this is what we have here. If we look at this middle section here, this is what we're going for. We want to know the total number of cruisers in our poll that are vaccinated. And, again, I've seen it said before that maybe up to 50% of people are unvaccinated, and therefore the cruise lines with their mandates are really risking a big portion of their business. We saw it yesterday, Frank Del Rio saying that he didn't feel like they were risking a huge portion of their business based on our community. And again, there's no way to survey millions of cruisers, but I've seen some other surveys, and close to 10,000 responses is a pretty good response. But in our community, the total cruisers, people that are cruising, 8,730. Of those 8,730, 7857 are vaccinated, 873 not vaccinated. And so that means of cruisers that are cruising right now, cruisers that have answered this poll, 90% are vaccinated, with 10% being not vaccinated. And so when the cruise, and I'm sure the cruise lines have done this math, I know they polled their customers. Royal Caribbean very specifically came out and said when they polled their customers, the vast majority vaccinated. And so the cruise lines are making these decisions. Certainly they have these numbers in front of them, and that's why they're able to do the health protocol things that they're doing. Certainly it's a bummer that in our scenario, 873 people in most circumstances aren't going to be able to cruise. But the cruise lines, I don't think they're going to derail their business for the 10% that they're missing out on. Now, there is some positive news coming out that maybe more families will be able to cruise based on something that happens at the end of the month. On the 26th of this month, the FDA is supposed to weigh in and make a determination on whether or not the Pfizer vaccine can be used for children aged 5 to 11. And so many cruise lines have committed, Norwegian specifically, they're committed to only carrying vaccinated passengers. So right now, passengers that are between 5 and 11 years old, they cannot cruise. They have said, however, though, if those passengers can be vaccinated, which the door could be open for that at the end of the month, then this would open the door for families to cruise on those lines that have restrictions right now. I lay all that out there to help people who are trying to watch the industry and figure out where it's going. I continue to assert that the slump that we've seen in the last couple months is primarily based on masking and testing. Masking and testing, a result of the Delta variant and the increase of COVID cases. So I believe, as it's been true for most of this run, as we continue to watch the COVID cases and how it responds to the way that we're attacking it, as we see those case numbers go down, if we see a lessening of protocols, we should see an increased demand in cruising. But certainly the data does not suggest that the slump in cruising is because of the mandates. So there you have it, a little more data to finish out your day. Boom, that's your cruise news. I do have a question for you. Were you affected by the Carnival cancellation? And a secondary question, are you a family that's been holding off on cruising because all the testing and all the extra hoops that you have to do for your kids? Would this change in the ability to get them vaccinated? Would that make you more inclined to cruise? Leave a comment below. Thanks so much for checking out the show today. Please hit the like button or the smoke detector that's at the highest point in your house. You know, the one that you almost need a cherry picker, you know, a hydraulic ladder to get to. If you don't hit the like button, the battery's going out in that thing. And you know how fun those beeps are. This is Tony with Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.